everyone, I'm coming back because I have actually two things that I want to talk with you about. Mm. And one of which I went to see the Tina Turner musical, and it is beyond terrific. Now, the only thing I think that they do a really good job at embody Tina. I mean, her the actress who sings her voice is terrific. Um, I have two larger comments on it. Number one, I'm not Ike is a jerk, a very evil dude. I stand firm in that. However, I don't necessarily know if I like the depiction of Ike in this because they really show him to be somewhat of a bumbling fool during the 70s. And I'm not sure if that is what the goal is. Him getting high all the time, I get that. But the way they show him was a bit much. So there's that part that I don't necessarily like. I don't, but my overall comment, even though it is beyond terrific, I feel like we know so much about the Ike and Tina story, and she is so much more than Ike and Tina. And I would love to know more about the story of her post Ike. And that would be such a terrific story to tell. So if we could even have a movie or something that tells us this post Ike story, that would be wonderful because that's honest. I mean, I know that a lot of younger people, older people remember her from the Ike years, but a lot of us young people remember her from the post Ike years. So I would like to know that. The next story, the next play is with Fetch. Okay, let me make sure I got the name of the right. Here we go. Fetch Clay Make Man. So wonderful. Ray Fisher is in it. He plays Muhammad Ali. When I tell you this man is shiveled, shoveled, not shoveled, shiveled. Yeah. I mean, wow. It is unbelievable at how chiseled. There we go. It is unbelievable. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like he really looks like a Muhammad Ali. Like he could be Muhammad Ali. Like, but he looks even more chiseled than Muhammad Ali. Just great. It's playing at the Kirk Douglas in LA until July 16th. And so that's about a week. And I think that anybody possible should go. I know that the Tina Turner musical in LA is playing, and it ends, I think, sometime early July. I think it's like the 12th or 13th. And then it's now, no, probably the 9th, probably tonight. And then it goes to Orange County starting on July 11th. But I recommend going to both. Anyway, so Fetch Clay is having a relation. This is the one I think I really want to talk about. Is when I was growing up, my mother would always say, "Step and fetch it." Right? So you acting like a step and fetch it. Like it was a synonym for acting like an Uncle Tom. And it was based off of a character, Step and Fetch. And what's fascinating to me is that, okay, so there was a friendship between Muhammad Ali and Stephen Fetch, the actor. And at the time, because of the the Black Empower movement, he really became a demonized character. Went from beloved to demonized. because the character he would play in early film, like in the 1920s, was this guy on the plantation, the black guy on the plantation who is um who's sucks up to the boss and appears to be lazy and shiftless, kind of a thing. And so and he makes jokes and it's fun, supposedly, but they're all under the slant and gaze of a white man and how they feel about Black people. So it in my 2023 eyes, it's racist. In my Black empowerment eyes of the 1970s, I wasn't born yet, but it's racist. But in the 1920s and 30s, is it racist? Yeah, it still is, but it was funny. It was their type of humor and um, of the present day. So time period has changed and shifted. And I think we do need to always give grace to people based on time periods and shifts and understanding. But what he was trying to deal with is the fact that people did misunderstood him. Because if you would have understood him correctly, then you would have realized that he broke a lot of boundaries for Black people in film. And he also was the highest paid actor in Hollywood at one point. And he's the one who negotiated his contracts. And he was, in personality, he was the exact opposite of the character the role that he played. And so it is a fascinating dichotomy that takes place because you get to see some of this in the play. Combine that with Muhammad Ali and the Nation of Islam, and how the Nation of Islam was fighting these stereotypes, but also the Nation of Islam is not a cult, but the way that they went after and tried to make sure that Muhammad Ali could be under their thumb is definitely not appropriate. And trying to control him. But, it also gets back to what the role of this. Like in literature, we always talk about the fool. There's always a fool, or even someone that uses as the jester. Not fool as a person who's a fool, but the jester or the fool that's played to make jokes about people, right? So they're the ones, because because they're the ones that can see everything that no one thinks is threatening. And this is what Steppenfetchit is. The spook by the door, right? So he's the one that no one thinks anything is threatening. No one says any, they can talk about him because he's not going to do anything, because he's not telling you what his intentions are first. You think that he's a traitor to their race, when in fact, he's the one time that he can constantly make comments and say things that are absolutely sting and get right into the heart of things. And so he's making comments that are like, oh, so he's like, Muhammad Ali, like, how can I trust somebody who can't be a friend? And he's referring to his relationship with Malcolm X. Like, it is such a very thoughtful play. Debbie Allen does a wonderful job, and I really highly recommend watching it. It's going to stir up some conversation for sure. Absolutely go out and support the arts. It's worth it. The Tina Turner play runs, budget yourself for 3 hours. The Fetch Clay Make Man runs about 2 hours, and think about with the intermission and everything, give yourself about 2 hours and 25 minutes. And I hope that you all enjoy it. Please go and see it and support the arts. Bye.